Hello everyone, my name is Yasmin Munoz and I am presenting my Week 5 discussion for Healthcare Ethics and Medical Law, Ashford University course HCA322 with instructor Lilia Chavarria, September 27th, 2018. And the subject we are looking at today is the moral right to healthcare, and I will be presenting this from the point of view of a compliance officer. To get started, we must first look at the right to healthcare in the U.S. Not everyone in the U.S. can afford healthcare. This has come up in a lot of the elections recently, especially with our last administration. And this is because currently the U.S. is a free market, which has its ups and its downs. It allows for free choice between providers, which can be a positive for patients because it does allow them the opportunity to shop around and seek care where they feel most comfortable and where they feel that they will be getting the level of care that they are happy with. However, because of the free market, many go without insurance, and this can be very expensive for not only patients, but also for healthcare providers and hospitals. Patients cannot be turned away or denied care. This can also be the reason why hospitals find the uninsured to be somewhat burdensome. However, because they cannot legally be denied, it is very important that all patients that are treated equally and are also given the same respect and dignity that insured patients have. Because we are looking at the moral rights to healthcare, there are areas that we can focus that go hand in hand. And the areas that are important to patients' rights in healthcare are code of ethics, resource allocation, and cultural competency. First, examining the code of ethics, it is important to remember that we should have ethics committees that are separated by clinical and administrative duties. This is because the clinical committees will have a medical background and look at patient cases that are centered around end-of-life care or termination of life support, and the administrative side will focus more on financial obligations and whether or not to purchase new equipment or renovate a building. The reason that these ethics committees should be separated is because they do require a background in a specialized area. For example, you would not want a physician making financial decisions when they do not have an accounting background, and you would not want the accountant making decisions for whether or not it is ethical to remove a patient from life support because they cannot properly assess that, not having a medical background or knowing details of a patient's history. A second thing to look at here is that your code of ethics is following U.S. federal regulations. The Office for Human Research Protections, or OHRP, is set up for a reason, and these federal laws allow for guidelines around respecting patients, so respect for persons, making sure that everybody is having their autonomy respected. Also that beneficence or non-maleficence is followed, meaning that you are doing what is right for the patient and not doing harm. These things are very important and are federally protected. And also that patients receive justice. So that is also something to consider with the code of ethics of a healthcare organization. We also want to make sure that we know where we stand as far as our moral identity, and we should really focus on efficiency, effectiveness, and transparency when it comes to our care and the way we relate to our patients. Going hand in hand with the Code of Ethics, next we will look at resource allocation. It is important that we do take into consideration if our resource allocations are ethical. For this reason, we are putting patients first. Patients must come first, and to do so, an organization must be innovative when it comes to finding savings, meaning that costs do not come on behalf of the patient's care. We cannot cut back on patient care in order to save money. So we have to be creative and find other ways for savings to be made. One way we can do this is by focusing on palliative care and family inclusive healing. We can learn a lot from Eastern medicine and holistic healers. This has shown that it can be beneficial and usually does not cost as much as lengthy hospital stays. We must also look at changing culture to prevent the overtreatment of patients. This can be cost saving, and without ordering unnecessary tests, we can see that patients receive better care, and the hospital is also able to allocate its funds in other places which need it more. Working with physicians and vendors to reduce product spending is also another area we can focus on. We can do this by minimizing the variety of products and equipment, possibly streamlining. So maybe not every physician will get their favorite model of mask. However, if we're able to negotiate contracts with our vendors, we can find savings and not compromise patient care. These are the areas we should focus on when it comes to resource allocations so that we're not cutting back in areas that are crucial to patient care. Next, we'll look at cultural competency. The U.S. is a melting pot of different cultures and religions, and patient demographics will continue to grow and vary over time, and staff must be prepared to do so. Without being sensitive to patient needs and their cultural beliefs or religious beliefs, it can leave the hospital open to lawsuits. So it is important that we act quickly and document or communicate pertinent information, such as not receiving blood products or DNRs that are on file. These things need to be communicated and documented as soon as possible so that we do not open ourselves for legal ramifications later on. If so, please call on the ethics committee or seek legal counsel if you feel that it is needed. It is better to be safe than sorry. And also staff training is important when it comes to cultural competency. It's important to expand our cultural awareness and also provide scenarios and patient examples to grow from to, again, reduce the amount of lawsuits that we open ourselves up to as an organization. And also we do not want to offend patients or to treat them in ways that they have not pre-approved us to do so. Where do we go as an organization? Well, in order to continue to serve patients and doing so ethically, we have to continue to focus on patients and patient care. Do not hesitate to ask for help or for an opinion if you feel that the scenario calls for it. And staying legally compliant must continue to be a priority above all. Focus on efficiency, effectiveness, and transparency. Communication is key within the hospital staff and with our patients as well. Efficiency will reduce the amount of waste in funds and materials. And we want to have effectiveness because we want results. We want to provide effective care and give our patients the best outcomes possible. Again, this is Yasmin Munoz, Week 5 discussion. Thank you so much for your time.